morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Prime Minister Deuba leaving for official visit to India today. This is the first state visit of Deuba after assuming office. Election Commission urges parties to contest election in free and fair manner. Leaders suggest the Commission to work independently for the polls. Coalition partners agree for electoral alliance in local polls. Leaders say cooperation will continue until the election. Worsening economic crisis in Sri Lanka turns violent. Authorities impose curfew as protesters try to storm. And Nepal books a place in the final for triangular T20I series. Karan Kesri becomes first Nepal's player to top score a hat-trick in T20 format. And now the news in detail. The Ghode Jatra festival is being celebrated in the Kathmandu Valley today with great fanfare. This is a tradition of celebrating this festival by running horses in the Nepali Army Pavilion in Turikel. The heart of the capital, as per the lunar calendar, this festival is celebrated every year on the new moon day of the 12th month of the Nepali calendar. It is believed that footsteps of the horses will ward off evil spirit roaming in the valley. There is a traditional belief that this festival was organized to chase away the evil spirit of Turikel after the spirit started hurting children in the valley long time ago. Separate traditions are followed to organize horse races in all the 3 districts of the Kathmandu Valley on this day. Even today, it is believed that running horses keeps away the spirit of the demon. It is believed that the spirit of the devil can rise again if this tradition is discontinued. President Vidya Devi Bhandari, Vice President Nanda Bahadur Poon, Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba, Home Minister Balkrishna Khan and others are scheduled to attend the program at the Army Pavilion. Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba is leaving for New Delhi today afternoon on a 3-day official visit to neighboring India, an invitation of Nepal Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a report. This is Prime Minister Deuba's first official visit since becoming Prime Minister for the 5th time. The delegation led by Prime Minister Deuba will leave for New Delhi via a regular flight of Nepal Airlines Corporation at 1:25 p.m. and is scheduled to return home from the same airlines on April 3 at 6:10 p.m. Before returning home, the Prime Minister is scheduled to visit Varanasi, India, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Nepali delegation includes Prime Minister Deuba's spouse Arzu Rana Deuba, Foreign Minister Narayan Khadka, and other ministers, secretaries, and officials. The visiting team consists of about 50 participants, including high-ranking government officials, industrialists, and media persons. During the visit, Prime Minister Deuba is scheduled to pay a courtesy call on Vice President of India M. Venkaiah Naidu. Likewise, delegation-level talks will be held with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Hyderabad House on April 2. In addition, Indian Prime Minister Modi will host a luncheon in honor of Prime Minister Deuba and his delegation. Foreign Ministry officials said India's External Affairs Minister and National Security Advisor to the Government of India are scheduled to call on Prime Minister Deuba during the visit. In addition, Prime Minister Deuba is scheduled to address a gathering of businessmen in New Delhi. Chief Election Commissioner Dinesh Kumar Thapalia has urged all political parties to contest the election in a free, fair and economic manner by following the Election Code of Conduct in order to protect democracy and integrity of the governance system, a report. Organizing an interaction on effective implementation of election code of conduct and role of stakeholders in the capital yesterday, Chief Election Commissioner Dinesh Kumar Thapalia suggested all political parties and candidates to strictly abide by the election code of conduct. He shared that the election code of conduct has been formed with the consensus of all stakeholders, and the election commission is fully confident that the political parties and candidates would follow it. Thapalia argued that the election must be won through ideology and principle, not through the use of money. Similarly, former Chief Justice Kalyan Shrestha stressed that the culture of following the code of conduct should be made an integral part as election is the process of ensuring development, participation and good governance. Stakeholders opened that it is the main responsibility of the political parties and candidates to follow the election code of conduct. Nepal Law Society chair and former Chief Secretary Tirthaman Sakya expressed concern that the elections were becoming expensive. He said that the elections are being held for the benefit of political parties and their leaders' interest and not for consolidation, democracy, and the public interest. Leaders of various political parties suggested the Election Commission to work independently and be strict in enforcing the election code of conduct for enhancing the credibility of the election. Civil society members, on the other hand, pointed out the need of reforms in the election and to make it more credible for strengthening democracy. The Election Commission and the Nepal Law Society have organized the program in 14 places covering all the 7 provinces. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The national active COVID-19 caseload of Nepal active caseload dropped from 1,146 to 1,081 on Thursday as 24 people tested positive for the infection in the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, antigen test confirmed one positive case in the past 24 hours. The total number of single-day infections from both the RT-PCR and antigen test totals to 25. The latest reported number of infections carried the nationwide tally to 978,426, while the death toll remains at 11,951 as no fatalities were recorded yesterday. Meanwhile, the total coronavirus recoveries stand at 965,394 with 89 discharges lost today. As per the latest data provided by the Health Ministry, a total of 4,951 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours, of which 3,623 were PCR tests, while 1,328 were antigen tests. Nepal's COVID-19 recovery rate stands at 98.7%, while the fatality rate stands at 1.2%. Currently, there are 106 individuals in various quarantine facilities across Nepal. Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba and CPN Maoist Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal made it clear that the coalition partners would go for an electoral alliance in the upcoming three-tier election. Speaking at a program organized on the occasion of the 24th anniversary of Reporters Club Nepal yesterday, Deuba retweeted that the Nepali Congress would not go against the coalition partnership at any cost. Similarly, Dahal argued that the existing political alliance was burned out of the need and it would continue until the elections. He said that the current alliance was first for the protection of the constitution, democracy and nationality. The Nepali Congress has already declared to go for the election, keeping the unity intact. The ruling partners had earlier agreed for collaboration during the upcoming local level election. A meeting of the top leaders of the ruling coalition held yesterday decided to forge alliance for the local level elections scheduled for May 13. An understanding has also been reached to form a mechanism comprising ruling coalition partners in local level for election coordination. A central working committee meeting of the Nepali Congress concluded on March 29 had been made policy level decision to make electoral alliance with other parties of ruling coalition in local level election as per the need. And now the news from economic front. The Ministry of Finance has requested the public to provide their suggestions for the budget of the coming fiscal year. The ministry has launched toll-free number 1138 to collect suggestions and recommendations in this regard. The Ministry of Finance, which is engaged in the preparation of the budget for the upcoming fiscal year, has introduced a toll-free number 1138 in an effort to collect suggestions from experts and representatives of the concerned sectors. According to the ministry, the public can make suggestions by calling at the toll-free number during office hours. Provision has also been made to submit suggestions by clicking on budget suggestions on the website of the ministry and also through email. In order to make the budget and programs more effective and workable, the ministry believes that suggestions from industrialists, businessmen, intellectuals, politicians, social workers, professionals, media persons, general public and other stakeholders will be important. The ministry has already collected suggestions for policies, programs and budget from agriculture, education, banks, financial institutions and insurance sector, private sector, economists and others. The ministry is organizing up to 2 discussions a week and collecting suggestions on the budget from experts in various fields and from representatives of stakeholders. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. Police in Sri Lanka have imposed a curfew in the country's capital following clashes with protesters who tried to storm President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's residence as anger grows over a worsening economic crisis that has been resulted in rolling blackouts. In a statement to the media late on Thursday, Inspector General of Police City said that curfew in most of Colombo's districts would last until further notice. The move came after hundreds of protesters in the capital's Mirihana district threw stones at and clashed with police earlier in the evening as they pushed through the first line of barricades blocking the roads to Rajapaksa's private residence. Videos from the protest site posted by the news wire outlet on Facebook showed a police bus on fire and protesters trending to man with a bloodied face. It was not clear if the president was at his residence at the time. A spokesperson for the police declined to comment. Russian forces in Ukraine are regrouping to double down on the attacks in the east of the country, according to NATO Secretary General. Russia is trying to regroup, resupply and reinforce, BBC reported quoting NATO's Jens Stoltenberg. The UK said Russia was bringing in between 1,200 and 2,000 troops from Georgia as reinforcements. Moscow said on Tuesday that it would reduce military activity in northern Ukraine and focus on liberating the Donbas region in the southeast. The UK's Defence Secretary Ben Wallace warned that Russia's chance in tactics was not a retreat. The UK also said bringing in troops from Georgia had not been part of Moscow's original plan. Around 20% of Russian troops around Kyiv have started to reposition, according to a US senior defense official. The official added that the Russians had largely abandoned Hostomel airport outside the Kyiv and are also moving away from the Chernobyl nuclear plant. But they said Russia was keeping the pressure on in the air, with airstrikes continuing to fall on the cities of Kyiv and Chernihiv in the north. Bombs are also falling on towns and cities in the south, which is becoming the key battlefront. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. A 5-wicket haul by fast bowler Karan Kesey helped Nepal into the final of the triangular T20 International Cricket Series yesterday after winning its third match in a row. A report. Nepal defeated Papua New Guinea by 37 runs in the third match of the triangular series yesterday to secure a place in the final. Chasing a target of 204 runs for victory at the TU Cricket Ground in Kirtipur, Papua New Guinea were all out in 19.4 overs with 166 runs on board. Charles Amini was the top scorer for Papua New Guinea with 62 runs. He hit 9 fours of 47 balls. Tony Ura scored 43 runs. Ses Pau contributed 25 runs while Norman Vanua scored 17. For Nepal, Karan Kesey took 5 wickets, including a hat-trick. Kesey has become the first Nepali player to score a hat-trick and take 5 wickets in T20I format of the game. Similarly, Avinash Bohra and Sompal Kami took 2 wickets each and captain Sandeep Lamichhane took 1 wicket. Invited to bat first after losing the toss, Nepal made a total of 203 runs at the loss of 7 wickets in the allotted 20 overs. Dipendra Singh Airi contributed 66 runs, including 3 fours and 4 sixes of 33 balls. Similarly, Rohit Paudel scored 41 runs, Asif Sheikh 38, Mohammad Adil 31 and Kusal Bhurtel 17 runs. Papua New Guinea's Kabua Moria took 3 wickets, followed by 2 wickets of Rile Hecure and 1 each by Norman Vanua and Nosena Pokana. Along with yesterday's victory, Nepal has collected 6 points from 3 games to top the point level. In the first match of the series, Nepal had defeated Papua New Guinea by 15 runs, and in the second match, it defeated Malaysia by 6 wickets. Nepal will now play against Malaysia in the final match on Saturday. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Prime Minister Deoba leaving for official visit to India today. This is the first state visit of Deoba after re-assuming office. Election Commission urges party to contest election in free and fair manner. Leaders suggest the Commission to work independently for the polls. Coalition partners agree for electoral alliance in local polls. Leaders say cooperation will continue until the election. Worsening economic crisis in Sri Lanka turns violent. Authorities impose curfew as protesters try to storm President's house. And Nepal books a place in the final of triangular T20I series. Karan Kesey becomes Nepal's first player to score a hat-trick in T20 format. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.